NBC, when you really want to know.
You're watching the News Channel.
News Channel 5.
Hello, I'm Chuck Whitlock, and this is a special edition of Extra Undercover.
It's finally here. The movie Titanic is out on video. At least it is on this street corner.
$15. Take home the Titanic with you.
The actual movie?
The actual movie. I took them right off the mast.
But would you buy it from this guy?
I got changed.
Not ripping it off.
Find out why some Titanic sales could leave you with a sinking feeling. You've heard the cliche, buy a piece of the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, here's your chance.
Well, how do I pay?
They think it's a good investment, but they don't know our undercover cameras are rolling, and they just got scammed.
Holy cow.
Chuck Whitlock has an offer too good to refuse. It's happening even as we speak. Innocent children stalked by molesters. Now, Chuck Whitlock goes undercover to find out how these monsters get into schools and next to your kids.
Did you have enough time to check all the references, or do you need some more reference letters or anything?
I tell you the truth, I didn't have time.
It's a shocking extra undercover investigation to protect your children.
Hi, I'm locked out of my house and I need to find out how long it'll be for somebody to come out and let me in.
Seems like an innocent call, but what if it wasn't her house? Would a locksmith let her in anyway? Plus, help us catch one of the most wanted con artists in America. This is a special edition of Extra Undercover. Now, here's Chuck Whitlock.
Thanks for joining us. For the past year, you've seen my undercover reports on scams and frauds. Your response has been so overwhelming that we decided to put together a full hour of these stories. You'll see people falling for some unbelievable hoaxes, crooks caught in the act, and will expose a serious threat to America's children. Tonight, we're going to show you how to avoid letting the things you're about to see happen to you. The truth is, scams come in many forms. People fall for them because they want to trust in others, especially those who look the part.
They say the clothes make the man, but as I've shown our viewers time and time again, the clothes make the scam. No matter the scam, it's comments like this
And you have a uniform on.
that enable me, and worse, real con men to get away with this.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are
I'm Officer Whitlock. I'm Dr. Whitlock. Nice to meet you. I got a delivery for John Nicosia next door. A little bit of change, something.
I'm always amazed at how easily people are willing to trust a complete stranger, simply because they're in uniform.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm with the gas company.
Like these women who fell for my diversion con. They let me inside their homes while I asked them to stay outside and help me look for a gas leak.
I want you to stand right here. You guys got to help Mom, because this is a gas leak detector.
A real crook would have robbed them blind.
I remember that I looked at your badge, so then I was like, all right.
But it's not always a phony uniform that pulls one over on consumers. The truth is, some people just don't take the time to pay attention to details.
I've got a delivery for Mr. Bergman next door. Do you know your neighbor?
This was a COD scam, where I asked people to pay the delivery charge on an important package for their neighbor.
Yeah,
You know?
I take it for him.
You sure?
I'm admitting.
But the only thing real about this delivery was the money she gave me. And of course, what was in the box.
If we opened the box, what we would find is an old telephone book.
And as for the small details,
Look at your receipt. Con Express.
that's right, Con Express. And this guy should have known better, too.
My hair looked just about like yours does. About a year
He
ago.
fell for my phony hair regrowth pills, which were actually vitamin C tablets. Most people wouldn't have noticed, but get a load of what he does for a living.
I'll go anywhere in the world. I'm a physician.
You are? You're a doctor?
And here's another case where details were lost on our victims. Our phony charity scam for Friends of Chuck, a shelter for dogs suffering from maltnosis. Aw, look at how many people drop money into our canister. Little did they know, Chuck is me, and maltnosis is a disease I made up.
Have you ever heard the disease maltnosis before?
Never.
Who is Chuck, by the way?
Some people don't even seem to care why they're giving their money away.
This is the charity of Chuck here.
I know.
That's what we're dealing with. The charity of, you know about Chuck's story, don't you?
Yes.
So sad. So sad what happened to Chuck.
But my favorite was this Christmas scam.
Oh, wow. That's very generous. Thank you very much.
After all, no one expects Santa to be a shyster.
See, you're going to help all these people that need help, that are hungry. It's going to feed the hungry.
Notice, I had already taken off the hat. Then I started taking off the suit until I was just some guy with a chimney.
Oh, I knew I'd find somebody.
I couldn't believe it. So next time you see a man in uniform, just remember, a badge and a wig are effective tools in a con man's bag of tricks.
It was you.
If anyone approaches you asking for money, pick up the phone and check if they're really with the company they claim they're with. If the person's legit, they'll wait. Also, be aware of details. Do your homework, and don't be afraid to ask questions. After all, it's your money. A lot of people say they would never fall for the scams you just saw. So we set out to show that it really can happen to anybody. You've heard the classic description of a sucker. You could sell this person the Brooklyn Bridge. Well, we took it as the ultimate challenge. Could we actually sell the Brooklyn Bridge? Let's find out.
The beautiful Brooklyn Bridge. It's a symbol of America's pride, and it now can be yours.
That's our fake sales tape and bait used to lure our investors to our fake company, Brooklyn Bridge Enterprises.
Over 70% a year.
We opened up shop with the video at this sales booth at a business convention here in Dallas, Texas. Our scam, sell the Brooklyn Bridge. In addition to our video, we had brochures outlining our financial plan, an attempt to help the city of New York out of a financial mess.
The maintenance cost on a 115-year-old bridge just got so astronomical they couldn't afford to keep it up.
I said the city agreed to let us open up toll booths on the bridge. The money would help with repairs. And that's not all. I told our potential investors they'd get a portion of the toll booth proceeds. Then I hit them with the big news.
In 3 years, we actually acquire ownership of the bridge, and then we're all partners in the bridge together.
We'd make them an unbelievable 76% on their money in the first year. After all, it worked for these people on our sales tape.
I made $10,000 on a $15,000 investment in just 1 year.
But, of course, they were actually our producers giving fake testimonials. Today, I'm asking for $150 from each investor. And if you thought it wouldn't work, you're wrong. It was surprisingly easy.
Let me show it to you. Come on, sit down.
Just minutes into the convention, this couple takes a look at the video, and they're hooked. Their only main concern was when that 76% was going to come rolling in.
So you just automatically send a check?
We send you a check every quarter, every 3 months. Exactly.
That's all they needed to hear.
It's just a wonderful, easy investment to make.
After signing, we took him behind our curtain to take a photo, proudly holding the stock certificate we made on our laser printer. And then we let him in on the bad news.
Antonio, let me introduce you to a friend of mine. Actually.
Oh, yeah, I seen you on TV, man. I got ripped off. Huh.
Did it sound reasonable that...
Oh, yeah, it sounded great. I mean, look, it looks all legal and everything. All the paperwork you got and everything, it just looks real.
And he didn't want to be the only one to get scammed, so he actually helped us fool the other guys at the table.
Great deal, man.
Hey, thanks a lot for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Now, this guy in the yellow is originally from New York, and you know how skeptical New Yorkers are.
You have like a copy of the contract or something?
Here's what you get. You fill this out, and you have a 3-day right of rescission. You see that? It's right there. And we send you then a full package. It's about this thick.
And even though I never answered his question, he bought my line. And he bought the bridge, too. It can happen to anyone. This fellow's a chiropractor. He couldn't crack our scam. As a matter of fact, the only question he asked me was this one.
Well, how do I pay you?
Gotcha! But some people needed a lot of convincing, like this nurse. She must have asked me dozens of questions.
What does this balance do on receipt of documents?
Here.
I'm not signing.
I mean, it's so easy.
Yeah, it is easy.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'll have to have my sister take a look at that.
After nearly half an hour, she still wasn't budging.
You have pretty penmanship.
So I tried flattery.
Hampshire, H-A-M-P.
H-A-M? That's a pretty name.
Bingo!
W-H-I-T.
W-H-I-T.
Hello.
And that's her spelling out my name on a check. And we were amazed when this fellow, who calls himself a business investor, came by and said just one share wasn't enough for him.
To sign up for more than one person, then I can do that here?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, to the tune of $1,000, paid with a credit card. All the units we had left.
Take a picture real quick of your certificate.
And then it was time to let each of them know they had been scammed. Caught by the oldest trick in the book.
Holy cow. This is all big put on, huh?
Have you ever heard the expression, he'd buy the Brooklyn Bridge?
Sure, yeah.
And what?
And I'm the sucker, yeah. And I said, nah, it can never happen to me.
I warn my mother all the time. Beware of people like that.
I'm not associated with the Brooklyn Bridge.
What you do? Just scam me?
And finally, our $1,000 man.
We really don't have a Brooklyn Bridge project at all.
Oh, Lord.
But in this scam, it's not about the money. It's about the embarrassment.
Yeah, nobody's going to believe it when I say I bought the Brooklyn Bridge.
I was amazed at how many people fell for this one. Americans lose an estimated $8 billion each year on fraudulent investments. And that's just the cases that are reported. So what should you do before making an investment? Again, do your homework, check out the company thoroughly. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. Beware of deals guaranteeing quick returns and high profits. And beware of someone pressuring you to close a deal on the spot. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
You use it every week, maybe even every day. But that ATM transaction could be a ripoff waiting to happen.
Need to make a withdrawal or a deposit? Okay, I'm your man.
But watch what happens next. It could save you thousands of dollars. He doesn't use a gun.
He took everything I had, $501.
He doesn't use a knife.
I couldn't even pay my bills that month.
But police say this man gets people to hand over thousands of dollars. He even convinces them to withdraw more cash from the bank. How does he do it? Extra Undercover takes you inside the manhunt for a dangerous con artist.
With AT&T One Rate, it costs $2.40 to make a 16-minute call from Miami to Chicago. With 10321, it's $4.47. With One Rate, it costs $1.20 to make an 8-minute call from Boston to Dallas. With 10321, it's $2.23. Surprised? Don't be. Most calls from home cost less with One Rate, without dialing any extra digits. Now, what state would you rather be in? If you don't have One Rate, get it today.
Remember the simple pleasures of being a kid? They're back. Now you can eat like a kid again when all you cared about was taste. Introducing new Lay's Wow Chips. They taste just as good as regular Lay's, and because they're made with Olean, they're half the calories and 100% fat-free.
Dad, how are we going to get home?
You know, son, you worry too much.
New Lay's Wow. Life tastes good again.
Coming up, they opened the front door, opened the car, even changed locks. But these locksmiths forgot one important thing. See how our hidden camera...
Right now at El Piemonte Ford in Melrose Park, I'll give you $2,000 on any trade-in on a used car. I don't care if we have to tow the car in with a horse. So if you're looking for a used car, now's the time to buy. I have over 250 used cars to choose from, and we're having a great sale. And with our finance staff on location, regardless of your credit, we will find a way to try and help you. Remember, $2,000 on any trade-in, regardless of what used car you buy at El Piemonte Ford in Melrose Park.
Your health, you never want to take it for granted.
A new study is out about kids and cancer.
In this day and age, information can be the best prevention.
That pill could be risky.
News Channel 5's Health Watch. Stay informed. Yourself and your family healthy.
These are just some of the hundreds of treatments available, experts point out.
For medical breakthroughs, for life-saving treatments, for better health for you and your family.
There's a new non-surgical alternative for those.
Health Watch, only on News Channel 5.
These days, anything that says Titanic is worth a fortune, and con artists know it. Titanic video scams are actually happening right now. The public's obsession with the blockbuster movie has people doing anything they can to get their hands on the film's merchandise. But as I showed some people, buyer beware, you may be taking a Titanic gamble.
I set up shop near a busy Las Vegas parking lot and got into character. With my skipper's cap and oar, I went to work. No, I'm not selling cruise packages. I'm pulling one of the fastest-growing scams in America.
$15, take home the Titanic with you.
The actual movie?
The actual movie. I took them right off the master.
It's called video piracy or bootlegging. Con artists in cities around the world approach people on the street promising copies of movies currently in theaters. But the hard-to-get copies usually have shoddy video, or worse, are completely blank.
Sure there's video on there, right?
Wrong. Our tapes were actually blank. I just bought them a few hours earlier for $2 a piece, made some phony labels, and passed these videos off as the real thing. Using hidden cameras and a crew filming from a van parked nearby, we proved our Titanic scam was no sinking ship.
I'll take 2 of them.
My price, whatever I thought I could get.
Would you give them to me for 15?
I'll give you 2 sets for 30. I got change.
You're not ripping us off.
Buy 2 sets for 30.
I'll give you $20 for one right now.
Cash money?
Cash.
And only one person realized the tapes were not nearly long enough for a 3-hour movie.
What's this? Why is this one so short?
Oh, that's a leader tape to the movie. It's a 3.5-hour movie.
He still went for it. In less than an hour, I made over $300. If I kept this up, I could have made $15,000 by the end of the week. So I made it a little harder for myself. I lost the captain's costume and actually began handwriting the labels. But it didn't scare off my business.
$10, what do you got to lose?
Without the props, closing the deal did get more difficult.
Hey, you guys see Titanic? Did you see the movie? Yeah. I got the tapes right off the master. This wasn't shot in TV. It was right off the master. I got about 10 sets left. This is the first part, second part. 3 hours and 19 minutes. The uncut version.
They weren't going for it. But then I had a great idea.
You can let your friends see it. After you've watched it 10 times, you can sell it for 30. You mark my words. This comes out in the video store. This thing's going to go for $50.
Hey, money talks. And of the nearly 50 people who approached me, only one man told me what I was doing was wrong.
I don't think this is right. I can't do this. This isn't right.
Right? Why is it wrong?
Because they're copyright infringement.
He's right. In fact, the Motion Picture Association of America says selling bootleg videos is a felony offense. So before we let our Titanic fans help me commit a crime, it was time to call their ship back to shore.
I got a TV down here. You want to see it real quick?
I put the tape in a VCR to show people what they just bought, and this is what they saw. You've been scammed.
Oh, son of a gun. Man, I was really stupid. I can't believe I did that.
I told him not to buy it.
No, you did.
Some fans didn't want the truth. They just wanted the movie.
You said you had 60 of these left over.
But I was lying.
Yeah, but I believed you.
Yeah, but I was lying.
And this woman was left speechless.
I don't know. You got me shook up here.
And some fans admitted they would have paid even more for the bogus tapes.
How much would you have paid?
Probably about $30, $40 for that movie.
You gave me $20.
Hey, I would have gave you $50. If you'd have said they were $50, I'd have bought one.
And for the $20 she actually paid me, she thought it was the sale of the century. But in the end, only this guy had it right.
Somebody's getting ripped off.
Even though our tapes were blank, some copies sold on the street really do have movies on them, taped by a home video camera inside the theater. But blank or bootlegged, you're still getting ripped off.
Your child's school may not be as safe as you think. See what happens when Chuck assumes the identity of a child molester and talks his way into a school.
Who do I see about volunteering to help you guys out?
Who's protecting your children? Extra Undercover investigates.
I'm shocked. I really am shocked, and I want to go take my son out.
Lexington Homes presents single-family homes from the 160s in 3 terrific communities: Grays Lake, Aurora, and South Elgin. Stylish, family-friendly, and convenient to transportation and excellent schools, Lexington's attractive homes are the perfect choice. Lexington communities feature the exclusive designs of Thomas Lighting, fireplaces by Majestic, and fine millwork and lumber from Edward Hines Lumber. Single-family homes from the 160s. For a brochure, call Lexington Homes at 1-800-935-7080.
My dad hates fried chicken. He hates it. Well, my mom figured out the secret to juicy chicken. It's called shake and bake, and it keeps the juice from getting out. We cooked it one time, and it was so juicy inside. He just tasted it, and he said, "Wow, it's so juicy. What is that?" I said, "It's chicken."
Shake and bake is the secret to juicy chicken.
No matter which way you slice it, not much love goes into fast food. Unless, of course, it's your food. Introducing new Corningware Pop-Ins. Dishes for single-serve meals you make ahead of time. Pop-Ins go from fridge or freezer to microwave to table beautifully. So, whatever time your gang comes home.
Chicken or beef? Chicken it is.
There's always a mom-cooked meal. New Pop-Ins from Corningware. One dish does it all.
Where is the love?
Free your eyes from allergies with Opcon A eye drops. It blocks your eye's allergic reaction. Frees your eyes from itching and redness. Bausch & Lomb Opcon A.
How you doing?
I'm still saving money.
How about a call from L.A. to Mexico City? It's $23.80 with AT&T.
It's only $8.80 with 10321.
Impressive.
Just dial 10321, then the number as usual.
I'm speechless.
Remember the simple pleasures of being a kid? They're back. Now you can eat like a kid again when all you cared about was taste. Introducing new Lay's Wow Chips. They taste just as good as regular Lay's, and because they're made with Olean, they're half the calories and 100% fat-free.
Dad, how are we gonna get home?
You know, son, you worry too much.
New Lay's Wow. Life tastes good again.
Some con artists are after your wallet. Some are after your trust, and others are after something much more valuable, your children. When kids go off to school, we worry about things like their safety crossing the street. But did you know the real danger may be waiting for your kids once they get inside the classroom? Our undercover investigation discovers that child molesters can beat the system and actually get jobs working with your children. What you're about to see will disturb you as much as it disturbed us.
It's a parent's primal fear. A call from the school or churchyard. Your child is missing. The disappearance made all the more terrifying because evil people are lurking out there, watching, waiting to prey on our children. New York City is a playground for child molesters, with 1,000 in jail, 4,000 on parole, and many more undetected. If anybody should be on guard, it's the schools and youth groups of the city. But are they? To find out, I went undercover with this hidden camera to see if I could get a volunteer job using the name and social security number of a convicted child rapist. That's right, a convicted child rapist, a monster of a man who sexually assaulted an 11-year-old girl and received a 20-year jail sentence. First stop, St. James Catholic Elementary School in Lower Manhattan. The local archdiocese requires all school volunteers to submit job references, a minimal safeguard. In my pose as the molester, I've invented a resume with his name to see if the school will do its job and expose me.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, how are you?
Good.
Who do I see about volunteering to help you guys out?
That would be Sister Teresa.
Sister Teresa D'Onofrio, principal of St. James. As our hidden camera rolls, I tell her I'm retired, a former owner of daycare centers, willing to become a volunteer language tutor.
Good. How flexible are you? We have no rooms in the school. So can you work right out in that desk?
Of course. Do
That's
whatever
it.
you like.
Remember, if she checks my name and background, she'll find they belong to a convicted molester.
I left a resume in case you want to check
Okay,
references or anything.
great.
2 days later, I'm back to find out if Sister Teresa's checked me out. She immediately summons one student for me to teach.
Sister Jasmine, could you send Joan up to the office? Thank you. Okay.
Did you have enough time to check all the references, or do you need some more reference letters or anything?
I tell you the truth, I didn't have time.
Okay.
Okay?
She didn't have time? Would that be good enough for your children? Of course not. But this time, the door's left open, and I'm in, meeting the kids, mingling, teaching one student one-on-one, a child molester's fantasy. Later, I show up to let Sister Teresa in on our secret, that I've been using the identity of a child rapist.
He was given a 20-year sentence and ordered to never be near children.
Look, I would like you to stop this right now, sir.
Sister,
Mrs. Hart.
Could you please just share with us
Could you please take these gentlemen out of my office?
Yes, please.
Okay, please leave at this time.
How does it... Can I take these? No, these are my papers. Please, sister. I need these. No, I need these.
Sorry, I'm not going to have them right now. Please get out of my office.
Okay, well, could I have my papers back, please?
No, please step out of my office.
Later, the Archdiocese of New York provides a spokesman, Joseph Zwilling, to talk to us.
We do require references, reference letters, checking up on past employment history. That is a requirement.
Wasn't done in my case.
It was not done, no. And that broke the guidelines.
He assures us these guidelines are followed in the majority of cases, and that Sister Teresa has been disciplined for skirting them.
The principal has been dealt with internally.
Why don't you do fingerprinting and criminal checks?
We don't have the facilities for doing that.
Zwilling claims parents know the Archdiocese is not doing such investigations. But when we asked parents outside St. James, they were surprised and outraged.
I'm shocked. I really am shocked, and I want to go take my son out.
Sister Teresa isn't careless or indifferent, just too overworked to be an effective policeman. And unfortunately, schools like hers aren't the only soft targets for those who prey on children. 7 years ago, the Boy Scouts of America were reporting 1 incidence of child abuse each week. The Scouts headquarters in Texas began keeping a registry of suspects. In Manhattan, I go searching for a job as a scoutmaster to see if the safeguards are working. At local scout headquarters, I arrive with hidden camera and the identity of the same child rapist I've been using throughout the investigation. A recruiter, Steve Manini, greets me, shows me around, and eagerly invites me to sign on with the troop.
Let me ask you this way.
Okay.
Do you think you could be there, once a month, twice a month, every week?
No, my time's my own, every week.
I give him a fake resume with the name of the convicted molester. I say I'm a retired businessman with a soft spot for the Scouts.
I'm an Eagle Scout myself.
Oh, wow. So am I. I don't know.
Without hesitation or background check, he invites me to begin mixing with the kids at once.
Yeah, so Saturday, if you want to come up to the basketball.
I will. I'll give Kevin a call.
Just stop by for, a couple hours. If you want to stay the whole day, great. If you just want to stop by.
I get myself a uniform as required, and in no time I'm meeting the kids, joining in their activities, even helping dress them in their uniforms. For a real child molester, a dream come true. Later, I'm back at Scout headquarters to confront Steve Manini.
In fact, the real man that you hired, he's a convicted rapist. You see his name, and that's rape 1. And let me just show you one of the things. See, you got a 20-year sentence.
Thank you.
20-year sentence in prison at a men's correctional. And for child molestation. And, no, hang on, I just want to show you. And for pedophilia. Can we just talk about the Boy Scouts and hiring people and putting children in harm's way?
But no one wants to talk. From the street, I call to ask for an interview.
You wouldn't like to give us your side of the story, at least?
But it's no use. So we're left to wonder, are we really doing enough to protect our children?
The answer to that question is, unfortunately, no. Currently, in most states, Boy Scouts and Catholic schools aren't required by law to screen employees. The procedures are self-imposed, and they're obviously not being followed. We need federal laws imposing standard background checks and employee screening procedures in schools across the country. Because if we as parents don't push the government to protect our children, no one else will.
The ATM is out of order, but you're in a hurry. Not to worry. The trustworthy bank security guard is accepting deposits.
And I'm going to give you a receipt for it.
But wait till you see where your money is really going. This chiropractor isn't treating a patient.
It's a game, man. We want to see who's BS and who's telling the truth.
He's teaching a patient how to scam insurance companies. But the crooked doc's caper is about to take a turn. Still ahead, insurance fraud caught on tape.
How to blow $120 million in 1 year on the next Access Hollywood. Tigers, jewelry, and a guy to follow you around telling you you're great. We'll describe in detail how one celebrity spent millions a year on that and more. Plus,
she's throwing me around.
David Hasselhoff's wife is beating him up for a very good reason.
I'm going to hit him a couple of times. It's good there.
Join Giselle Fernandez and Pat O'Brien on the next Access Hollywood.
Tomorrow night at 6:30 on NBC5.
My son Howard can't get enough of my cookies. You know Howard. He owns Howard Pontiac in Elmhurst. Well, he's been so busy. When he's not helping customers save money on the cars of their dreams, he's getting ready for a new shipment. So I said to him, Howard, every time you sell a new Pontiac, I'll bake you a batch of cookies. Well, that was yesterday. Howard, I am only one person.
Howard Pontiac Hyundai, Elmhurst.
On Grand Avenue.
I'm a stinky goofy foot. My first throw was 3 years ago. Carving freshies.
Kids today can remember tons of things.
I remember this one Sunday.
Nothing escapes them.
Picnic tables. And then there was that
But ask them what they had for dinner last night and... Want to make a big impression? Make a little stovetop stuffing. After all, kids remember what they love.
The last time you made this was the day before I did that 360 tail grab fakey face plant.
If it's not stovetop, forget it.
No worries.
And remember, you can make a little or a lot with stovetop in the canister.
One car polish proved that it can take the heat. New Finish. How much punishment can just one application take? It all started with a weather-beaten car. First, New Finish restored a showroom shine with no rubbing, no buffing. Then we let the hood broil in the scorching desert sun for 20 days and baked it under highly reflective mirrors that intensified the sun's rays 6 times. Is the New Finish finished? No way. After 52 heavy-duty commercial car washes, water still beads. New Finish, the once-a-year car polish.
New Finish, ranked #1 by Consumer Magazines, is available at Ace Hardware, True Value, Osco Drug, Murray's Discount Auto, Walgreens, Target, Trek Auto, Pep Boys, and Kmart's.
This woman was locked out, so she called a locksmith, and in no time,
A lot of people lock themselves out.
she's in. But the locksmith just made a huge mistake. It's the Undercover Report every homeowner must see as Extra Undercover continues.
Welcome back to Extra Undercover. Bank ATMs have become one of life's necessities. They're also a prime location for a ripoff, as I quickly discovered when I put up a simple out-of-order sign and put on a security guard's uniform.
Wearing a uniform, badge, and baton, I posed as a security guard in front of this Las Vegas U.S. bank. I placed a sign reading, "Out of order. Give deposits to guard on duty." On the ATM, you have to admit, I do look official. And quite honestly, I did expect several customers to give me their money. But I never thought in a million years that they would give me more than that. Like information that could leave them penniless, such as driver's license, account numbers, credit cards, social security numbers, and even ATM PIN codes. With the scene set, I waited, but not for long. Minutes later, our camera crew hiding in a van across the lot captures our first customer.
Hi. Did you need to make a withdrawal or a deposit? Okay, I'm your man. They just put me out here. We're repairing the ATM, so for the next 15 minutes,
Watch as Ruth McGuire hands over her check without any hesitation at all.
And I'm going to give you a receipt for it. Oh, let me get your ATM card number.
Not only does she give me her ATM card, without hesitation, she gladly tells me her PIN number as well.
Okay, so I think we're all set. Thank you very much. Take care, and we'll see you.
Ruth wasn't the only one to fall for the badge. For the next 2 hours, I was able to con 9 other people into giving me their money and personal banking information.
Okay, what's your PIN code, Jennifer?
Finally, I met with some resistance when I asked this woman for her PIN code.
Okay, what's your PIN code? Do you know offhand?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
You need it for real?
Yeah, just think of me as the computer. I'm going to have to put this in after I, record it.
But in the end, even Sandra Cardova trusts me and does give me her number.
You're sure you got $2,000 in this account?
Yeah.
After I jot down Lisa Moya's banking information, she freely supplies me with her social security number.
Let me see your ID. Do you have a driver's license? Okay, that's good. Oh, there's your signature on there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got your driver's license now, too.
Yeah.
She has obviously given away every secret in her life to this man, who she does not know is not a security guard.
Tom Lawson is a certified fraud examiner. He says that he is amazed at how easily people are duped in regard to believing anyone in a uniform. He's even more amazed at how casually they disclose all their personal information to a stranger. Information that to a con man is as good as gold.
Depending upon your ability mechanically to reproduce an ATM card, for example, on a machine and then put a PIN code in, you could have literally within 10 minutes, had you had the equipment out in your car, taken that information and exhausted at least the amount of money that that ATM machine would give her on a daily basis.
Out of the 10 customers that approached the ATM, only one customer, Amanda Mall, became suspicious. She decided to take her $900 deposit back home.
Right now, I just take it right in for you.
After 2 hours, I successfully had access to over $10,000 in check deposits and account balances. I was surprised at how easy it was to get all this money and information, but not as surprised as the customers I had just scammed.
We wanted to find out how much information people would give us. What made you fall for this whole thing?
Well, because you were very courteous and you have a uniform on.
Jennifer, you ever been scammed before?
Just now.
Is this the very first time?
This is the very first time and I feel dumb.
I've given you
everything. I mean, I could have emptied out that account. So what made you think that it was okay to give me all the information and take the money and show me your credit card?
the uniform, the sign.
Did you really believe me?
Yes, you're very convincing.
The lesson here, banks don't have security guards making transactions, and never give away any account information or your PIN code to anyone.
This guy says he needs crutches because he was injured on the job. But look, suddenly he's walking just fine without crutches. And wait till you see what's really going on in some auto body shops. Still ahead, insurance frauds caught on tape.
Meet Sean Graham, veteran stuntman. This is how he lives. This is what he drives. What else would he drive? Chevy S10, like a rock.
I'm AT&T.
Hi, I'm 10321, and I save people lots of money.
Well, a call from Denver to Boston costs $5.60 with AT&T.
That call is only $2.80 with 10321.
Really? With AT&T One Rate, a call from New York to Cleveland costs $3.75.
It's only $1.62 when you dial 10321.
That's big savings.
All without switching phone companies. Just dial 10321, then 1, and the number as usual.
This is easy.
Yeah, and you can use it whenever you want.
No wonder you're so popular.
Remember the simple pleasures of being a kid. They're back.
Mom?
Now you can eat like a kid again when all you cared about was taste. Introducing new Lay's Wow Chips. They taste just as good as regular Lay's, and because they're made with Olean, they're half the calories and 100% fat-free.
Honey, could you help me get down from here?
New Lay's Wow. Life tastes good again.
Free your eyes from allergies with Opcon A eye drops. It blocks your eye's allergic reaction, frees your eyes from itching and redness. Bausch & Lomb Opcon A.
Well, you guys, this is the big moment.
Presenting the new Keds. With thicker soles and built-in comfort, these new styles give you the one thing you can't even get from your best friend.
And you can wear it again.
A choice.
At some point, it happens to everybody. You lock yourself out of your house or your car. Any locksmith can quickly let you back in. But after seeing this report, you may wish it wasn't so easy.
Hi, I'm locked out of my house and I need to find out how long it'll be for somebody to come out and let me in.
Has this ever happened to you? If so, you'd probably have called a locksmith, just like this woman did. Fortunately for her, she didn't have to wait long for one to show up and let her in the house. Unfortunately for the person about to be robbed, the house isn't hers. This is not a robbery in progress. This is a part of our investigation to unlock the truth about locksmiths. Are they really following the strict industry standard that requires them to ask for identification from customers before unlocking a home or car? Or are they unlocking our doors to common thieves? We went to Nevada to find out.
How soon can you be here?
This is Kelly. She works for us. With the permission of some friendly neighbors, we had Kelly sit outside of random houses, apartments, and cars, call random locksmiths, claiming she was locked out, and ask them to let her in. Our hidden cameras were rolling to see if anyone would ask Kelly for ID before giving her access to a home, car, and even a safe that wasn't hers.
Oh, I'm in a huge hurry. I gotta get back to work.
This locksmith from Abacus walks right to the front door and immediately goes to work. He never asked her for ID.
Pretty fast.
30 seconds later, the lock is popped and Kelly is in, walking around the living room of someone else's home. She then asked him to open the safe we planted in the house.
If I don't get that open, I don't have any money for you.
You will drill it open.
Without hesitation, and again, without checking if Kelly was the actual homeowner, the locksmith takes the safe outside and begins a 10-minute odyssey of drilling, hammering, and more drilling. Meanwhile, a real crook would have been back inside cleaning the place out.
Maybe I should just check the glove compartment and see if there's a key in there.
Kelly asked him to open this fan, too. She didn't have keys to that either. Didn't bother this guy.
There you go.
And he wasn't the only one who didn't seem concerned.
It's one of those days.
And for this locksmith from Liberty, it was about to get worse. Again, he heads straight for the front door, no questions asked.
A lot of people lock themselves out.
I would say it's about 45% of our calls.
And thousands of potential burglaries. Again, open sesame.
Wow. Hey,
Then Kelly takes it a step further.
how hard would it be to open my car door? Because I think my roommate left a key under her mat in the car. Okay.
They walk to the car. He starts to jimmy the lock. Still hasn't asked Kelly for a shred of ID.
This is just, you know, years of experience.
And the car was all hers.
Gosh, you can do that in no time at all.
Finally, we encountered this brother act. They run a family business called Tony's Locksmith.
Hi.
Like everyone else, they opened the door without asking Kelly to prove she lives there.
Yay.
But she told them her purse had been stolen. That's why she didn't have keys. So they offered to change the locks.
Can you make a new key?
Yeah, we can do that.
So they did. Look carefully at this guy actually changing the lock on the door. If Kelly were a real crook, she would now be the only one with a key to this house. These guys even joked that this could be a break-in.
I'm not breaking in. You let me in.
I know. Yeah, she won't go to jail.
I didn't do anything.
Now it was time for us to turn the key on all these guys and confront them with our cameras. First, the locksmith from Abacus. He's the one who got drill happy.
You gave someone who doesn't live here access to an apartment, to a car, and to a lockbox that doesn't belong to her.
Okay.
Are you supposed to ask for some proof that the person lives where you open the house?
Yes, sir.
And did you?
No, sir, not yet.
But it was too late. He had already closed the deal, and he knew it.
I need help here.
We contacted his boss, who admitted this employee violated a strict company policy. Then we confronted the locksmith from Liberty. We asked him what the rules were for this kind of call.
You ask for identification and you let him into the house. If it's proper identification, you let him into the house.
Did you ask for identification?
Can't answer that.
Why not?
That's my word. I cannot answer that.
Eventually, he was more cooperative.
I didn't ask for identification.
Why?
Just didn't slip my mind. She looked like a perfectly legit person to me.
But see, that's what a crook would do. They'd get somebody that looks legit.
That's my discrepancy. I goofed. Has nothing to do with the company. Me as a mechanic, I goofed.
And that's when he realized it was time to call his boss.
I opened up the house. I didn't look for identification from the woman. I just took it that she was locked out. And now I got the camera and the whole news team on my ass.
Liberty's owner later informed us that the representative who handled our call has been suspended.
Have a good day.
And finally, the brothers from Tony's Locksmith.
We have a key to an apartment that I don't own, you don't own, she doesn't own.
And they actually thought that was funny.
Now, she can leave and come back tomorrow and rob it tomorrow and again a week from tomorrow because you guys made her a key.
No, I understand. 3 keys.
They blamed it on the city's lack of concern for regulation.
No, all you had to do was say, let me see a driver's license that shows this address.
Right.
And did you do that?
No, we did not.
No.
So the question is, how long will locksmiths jeopardize our safety before the law locks them up?
Well, you can see how the industry standard is holding up among locksmiths. It's obvious more measures need to be taken to ensure our safety. There are only 3 states, California, Illinois, and Louisiana, with laws requiring locksmiths to ask for ID, leaving an overwhelming 47 states with no legal requirement to protect us whatsoever.
Police say he's a con artist who's been on the run for 40 years, and he could be knocking on your door next.
He's a police impersonator, and that's something that we here at the police department take kind of personal.
Don't miss your chance to help Extra Undercover catch a con.
Here's your chance to discover the 1998 Oldsmobiles at Discover Days. Test drive the Intrigue. The sports sedan Car and Driver magazine shows over both Camry and Taurus. Experience it yourself with 1.9 financing. Or get a lease rate of only $2.99 a month with just $9.99 due at lease signing. There's never been a better time for a test drive. Discover Days with incredible 1.9 financing on the Intrigue and all Oldsmobiles at your local Oldsmobile dealer now.
With AT&T One Rate International, it costs $1.82 to make a 14-minute call from the U.S. to Canada. With 10321, it's $2.80. With AT&T One Rate International, it costs $1.50 to make a 10-minute call from the U.S. to the U.K. With 10321, it's $6.40. Surprised? 9 out of 10 calls from home cost less with One Rate International without dialing extra digits. And that can make a world of difference. So give us a call today.
How a convicted child molester could get a job as a Boy Scout counselor. The shocking story on Extra Undercover next time.
Somebody once said the orange is the most perfect container ever invented. But my vote would have to go to the orange Jell-O snack cup. You peel it, it fits in your hand, and holds the most fruity, refreshing stuff you ever wobbled around your mouth. And every week, there are 5 lunches to be packed up, and 1 me to be cooled off. Guess that's why they come in a 6-pack.
Regular and sugar-free orange Jell-O snacks. Smile more.
Hi, I'm Art Drysdale, and this is the Garden Claw. Using spades, forks, or cultivators can be back-breaking. The Garden Claw has a patented design that virtually eliminates bending and lifting. Turn the handles and the steel tines corkscrew down into all soils, even clay. It's perfect for mixing in peat and fertilizer, and it's ideal for working around plants and shrubs. The Garden Claw is backed by a 100% guarantee.
Look for this display. Available at Target and other lawn and garden stores everywhere. Makes a great gift.
Introducing a small car with a whole new attitude. Escort SE Sport with more equipment than ever before. Air conditioning, keyless remote, the good stuff. Plus now a sport package with alloy wheels, spoiler, and more, all at no extra charge. Add it up and it's less money than Cavalier. $1,384 less. Now get $1,900 for $36, $2,900 for $48, or $1,000 cash back. Escort SE Sport, new attitude. More equipment, less money. Drive it at your neighborhood Ford dealer today.
We've been exposing the scams of professional con artists. They're good at what they do. That's why they rarely get caught. But when ordinary citizens try to pull off their own scams, we found they're not quite as polished as the pros, and ultimately, not as lucky. Like these amateurs who tried to scam insurance companies.
You're watching a performance worthy of an Oscar. Our first video bust is Andrew Enriquez. He's a truck driver who claims he was injured so badly at work, he can barely walk. But keep an eye on this surveillance video. When he leaves the doctor's office, he's hobbling on crutches. Minutes later, hocus pocus, the crutches are gone. This is also Andrew, climbing on trucks, moving furniture, and lifting heavy boxes. And finally, here's Andrew again being arrested for workers' comp fraud.
Don't worry, it's okay. Don't worry.
Tell it to a judge, buddy. Our next subject isn't trying to fool a chiropractor. He is one.
It's a game, man. We want to see who's BS and who's telling the truth.
Martin Drazen taught patients how to scam their insurance exam. This undercover camera exposes his game as he shows healthy hucksters how a real injury should feel.
Now, when you rotate this way, to your left, you feel the pain pulling in here. Okay. You feel the pull. Now you say, okay, Mr. Reeves, now you relax. Now I'm going to push down on the top of your head. Do you feel any pain? And you go, ah.
Now Martin's the one under pressure. He pled guilty to insurance fraud. He's on probation and lost his license to practice. And check out these cheats. These body shop employees in New York not only fix your dents, they also cause them. Using a sledgehammer, they scuff sides, ding doors, even gouge the grills of clients' cars. Each dent meant more money they could charge the insurance company. All 4 men pled guilty in the case. And our final candidate in our Con Man Hall of Fame is Daniel Farney. This California fireman claims he hurt his back on the job. He applied for permanent disability that would pay him half of his salary for life. Is he really disabled? Judge for yourself. Here's Daniel on vacation in Hawaii, lugging suitcases to and from his car, swimming in the ocean, even doing somersaults in the surf. Now Farney's on a permanent vacation. After seeing this video, his claim was denied, and his employer said, aloha.
That video may be funny, but we're the real victims here. Unfortunately, some people do get away with it. As a result, the total cost of insurance fraud exceeds $100 billion annually, and the average household pays an extra $200 in insurance premiums each year to cover the fraud losses. We've been helping you by exposing scam artists. Now here's a chance for you to help us catch one. Watch closely as we profile this most wanted con. He's on the run, and he may show up at your front door.
He took everything I had, $501. I couldn't even pay my bills that month.
This woman, who has asked us to keep her identity a secret, is one of possibly hundreds of victims of this most wanted con, Butch Agee.
Butch has a rather extensive police record. We refer to him as a career criminal.
Detective Mary Avant with the Chicago Police Department has been tracking Agee for over 10 years. But despite the best efforts of her and her fellow detectives, Agee remains at large.
Butch Agee is not just a con man, but he's a police impersonator, and that's something that we here at the police department take kind of personal.
His alleged scam works like this. Agee approaches homes of women, usually over the age of 50, passing himself off as a police detective. He claims he's investigating a counterfeit money ring. It's believed Agee tells his prey that they have unknowingly passed counterfeit money at their local gas station or grocery store. He then asks the women to turn over whatever cash they have in their wallets for him to inspect. After informing his victims that the bills are indeed counterfeit, he takes their money. But he says he needs more. Agee then escorts the women to their bank and convinces them to withdraw whatever is left in their account. Outside of the bank, he hands them a receipt for the cash and tells them the police will return their money once the investigation is complete. Agee then disappears for good, and so does their money.
I just gave him the money.
And like his other victims, this woman believes she was doing her civic duty.
I just thought he was a detective. I just really was trying to obey the law.
Unfortunately, she was scammed. And in the near 40 years police believe Agee has been running this racket, he's collected fortunes.
We have victims that has gone as much as $3,500, $4,000, $5,000. It just depends.
So where is Butch Agee, and why is he so hard to catch?
At this point, we're not sure where Butch is. He's good at what he does. Butch is sort of a master of his trade.
Agee is believed to have run similar scams in Cleveland, Ohio, Birmingham, Alabama, New York City, Detroit, Michigan, and most recently, Chicago, Illinois. Each time, the police believe, using a different name.
Butch has 9 or 10 aliases. He uses the last name Walker, Young, Pleasant. Butch is a male black, only in his 50s. Small in stature, 5'5", maybe 5'6", thin, and he wears his hair bald most of the time. He wears an overcoat and a fedora.
Butch is also known to carry a badge, but as Detective Avant warns, don't be fooled.
Real police officers don't take cash. We don't do bonds on the street. We don't go to your homes and ask to see your money. We don't take you to the bank to draw money out.
If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of Butch Agee, please call us at 1-800-833-9696 or contact us on the internet. We're Inside America online at the keyword extra and on the World Wide Web at www.extratv.com. Help us bring this wanted con to justice.
It's a question every air traveler hears, and it's supposed to keep you safe.
Has anyone unknown to any of you asked you to carry an item on this flight?
But is that enough to stop a terrorist? Next week on Extra, Chuck Whitlock goes undercover to put airport security to the test.
Is there any way I could pay you to deliver a computer for me?
No problem, I can do that.
And the threat doesn't end there. See if airline employees allow a known terrorist to board a flight. If you fly, don't miss this Extra undercover investigation. Red alert, airport security. That's next week on Extra.
My grandson's a cute kid, but one tough businessman. Hey, buddy, I must have fixed my car.
Upfront pricing? What do you think this is, mister? That GM Goodrich Service Plus?
What a kid. Got upfront pricing, plus a lifetime guarantee on parts and labor, plus courtesy transportation. GM Goodrich Service Plus, the little guy was right.
The plus means better.
Call for the select GM dealer near you.
Remember the simple pleasures of being a kid? They're back. Now you can eat like a kid again when all you cared about was taste. Introducing new Lay's Wow Chips. They taste...
Stories you won't see anywhere else. Unit 5 reports on News Channel 5.
That's all for this special edition of Extra. We've given you some valuable information to help you spot a scam, to help you avoid becoming a victim of one. Remember, don't be fooled by appearances and always do your homework. Most importantly, and I'll say it again, if a deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I'm Chuck Whitlock. Thanks for joining us.